But Mark Blixarve's coming out of that game late with some illness. Didn't stop them from giving Melbourne a drubbing at GMHBA Stadium. And 0-4 for the Demons puts Simon Goodwin under immense pressure. And you can just see the frustration from the players as well. This is not where they thought they were going to be 4 rounds into the season. Christian Petrarca, who's been frustrated with the club so much in the off-season, just letting it all out. Where do the D's sit right now? Is it time that we sort of let go of our perception of them from 2021? Do we look at them as a side that finished 14th last year and perhaps isn't up to making a finals run, even though the key cogs of that premiership side are still well and truly firing in there?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's been the real downfall. You sort of look at their team and you look at the key cogs to it, and they're all still playing. They're all still out there. Oliver, Petrarca, Gawn. Lever obviously hasn't played so far this season, but May as well. They've still got that key cogs that should be performing better, you'd think. The reality is, though, they've lost 14 of their past 19 games. So that to start with, their contested possession and their clearance has really declined over the past 3 seasons. It's something that they sort of made their one wood that has really declined and quite rapidly. And another player that I just want to sort of highlight, Trent Rivers. He went into the midfield late last year. He was playing 80% game time in the midfield for the last 10 rounds. So far this season, he's played in defence for all 3 games, 80% defence. He was a player that last year Melbourne fans would have been really, really excited about moving into 2025, yet they haven't seen him really play any minutes in the midfield. And I think for me, that's a trigger that needs to be pulled. Get him back through there. We saw the signs of it last year. Allow him to spend that time through there again and give you a different look.
I was in the Demons rooms post-match and Simon Goodwin pulled the players straight into a meeting. He said that he was trying to get a message to them through the week with some brutally honest conversations. And this is what he said the message was post-match.
And the message is stay calm. Like, we're 4 weeks in. Stay calm but get urgent. And that's been the message. We've got work to do. Get urgent with that work, but stay calm and know that things can turn pretty quick.
Do you think they're staying calm?
Well, I think they're staying a bit too calm, really. There's not a whole lot of pressure out there at times. I think we'll get into the marks that were taken by Geelong a little bit later, but yeah, the ability for them, I'm not sure how you stay calm but get urgent at the same time. I'm not sure if they're a little bit counterintuitive of each other. What do you think, Xander?
I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it to Simon Goodwin, the Premiership coach, to sort that out through the week. I'm putting my hands in the air, pleading the fifth.
Get off the fence.
Patrick Dangerfield was amazing, though, down forward, kicking 3 goals, I think it was, through the match. Has he reinvented himself? Has he put a few years on his career, or is this just part of his role that he's always played as the superstar he is?
No, definitely it's been a tactic of theirs that he was going to play a lot more time forward half this year. They wanted to, I guess, keep him away from those real explosive efforts through the midfield. Obviously, a number of soft tissue injuries last year. So I love it. I think his ability, because he's so powerful and he's really good overhead as well for a player that's generally undersized as a key forward. But his ability to match it with his opponent, because to be able to sort of out-muscle or outwork him, you have to be pretty strong, but you can't go with him by foot. We saw him leading up there, getting kicks. Really nice delivery as well from his midfielders. But yeah, I love the reinvention of his game, playing him more forward, because you're going to get more out of him ultimately.
Christian Petrarca also used in a similar role. I think he had 21 touches, 2 goals, playing 62% time in the forward line there. So an emerging trend across the teams. You spoke about the Geelong marks. Talk us through the impact that had and how bad it was in terms of Melbourne's defence across the ground.
Yeah, well, let's just have a look here at the amount of marks that are largely uncontested throughout this whole passage of play. And we could have picked out about sort of 30 or 40 of these during the game, but 165 marks total to Geelong. That is an astounding number. There's only been 11 games in the history of AFL VFL where a team has actually taken more marks than that. The worst part, 148 of those were uncontested. So it just allowed their ability to move the ball however they wanted. They know how to play that ground really well. Yes, they took what Melbourne gave them, and yes, ultimately it kept the ball out of their hands. So time in possession, they had the ball for 15 minutes more than Melbourne in that entire game. I don't know how you compete with a team when they have the ball for 15 more minutes in a game of football.
A couple of interesting notes from the MRO from that game as well. We'll start with Bailey Fritsch, who was fined for tunnelling Tom Stewart. What's your take on this situation?
I think for me, yes, it's a fine. It's deserved of a fine, but I think the thing that you look at here as we sort of watch the replay of it, I think there's ways that Bailey Fritsch doesn't actually even make contact with Tom Stewart there. He's clearly sort of gone through him with his shoulder. So I just think that's something you want to stamp out of the game. And then this one, Ollie Dempsey has been fined for staging. And I think our reaction to it probably says that it's a valid fine. I think
he already clunked it. He didn't need to do it.
I think the arm does sort of come back through on the second grab, but there was absolutely no need to probably put the performance that he did on it. So I think that's a fair fine. I'm happy with them to start fining players for staging, especially when there's so much emphasis around concussion and protecting the head. It makes the umpire's job so much harder when players are sort of going to throw themselves around like that when they potentially get a small scratch to the cheek.